Hello, and welcome to the Edifice of Trust podcast. The Edifice of Trust podcast is a thoughtful discussion of today's current events from the perspective of America's founding principles. Hello, everyone. Nasim Taleb, author of the best-selling book about risk management, The Black Swan, The Impact of the Highly Improbable, later wrote the book Antifragile, Things That Gain from Disorder. The Black Swan sold over 3 million copies, but Antifragile was less successful. The concept of antifragility, as propounded by Taleb, can be difficult to comprehend. If you doubt me, just watch the YouTube discussion between Taleb and Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman, author of Thinking Fast and Slow. A china teacup is fragile. We know that. Drop it on the floor and it shatters into 1 million pieces. A teacup made of more durable material, there are many choices on Amazon, will not break when it falls on the floor. The unbreakable teacup is the opposite of fragile, but it is not anti-fragile. It is sturdy or non-fragile. An anti-fragile teacup would be one that would be better after the fall to the floor than before, as hard as that is to believe. That is why anti-fragile is such a difficult concept. Anti-fragility is the ability to take advantage of chaos and disruption. Mr. Taleb is the advisor to the Universa Fund that had a 3,600% return during the chaos and disruption caused by the COVID pandemic. But there is one person who takes even greater advantage of chaos and disruption than Mr. Taleb, Donald Trump. Mr. Trump thrives in chaos. If there is no chaos or disruption, he will create it. His first 6 weeks in office as 47th President of the United States has been an outburst of chaotic activity, mind-numbing change, wholesale firings, and closing departments in an effort led by Elon Musk, another person who thrives on disruption. Most of the leaders of change in America in the last 20 years, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, and others, have been disruptors. This is actually the secret sauce of America's success. The structure of our government and our society promotes innovation and change, a form of disruption. The business television network CNBC features its annual Disruptor 50 of companies that are leading change in America. If you don't believe me, just look at history. No country in the world emerged unscathed from the double whammy of the Great Depression and the World War II, except the United States. After the war, the United States was the strongest country in the world. It accounted for 50% of the world's GDP. Only an anti-fragile country can emerge from 2 decades of economic depression and war stronger, better, and more confident. So Mr. Trump's hectic activity and disruption is nothing new in the United States. We have been there before, only not so abruptly, not so in your face on television and social media. These are the conditions in which he thrives. So this new era of frenetic disruptive activity will not abate soon. The business news outlets keep reporting how Mr. Trump's tariff policies are bewildering American businesses, as evidenced by stock market volatility every time a change in tariff policy is announced. Tariffs are excellent disruptors. They are arbitrary. They can change on a moment's notice. Favored industries get exemptions, others nada. They hit where it hurts. No wonder Mr. Trump loves tariffs so much. Mr. Trump likes to say he is tariff man, but tariffs are just a tool. He is really anti-fragile man. But unlike Mr. Trump, most of the people in America are not disruptors and are not anti-fragile. Most businessmen consider their businesses very risky. All this disruption generated by the Trump administration just makes businesses even riskier, and the job of CEOs harder. People on Main Street like disruption even less than businessmen. Unlike Mr. Trump and other anti-fragile leaders, their lives are more vulnerable, fragile if you like, to the uncertainties of economic volatility. As pollster Frank Luntz noted in a recent interview on CNBC's Squawk Box, people on Main Street view the economy based on their most recent trip to the gas station or grocery store, not what economists say the economy will be like in 6 months or a year. President Trump's assurances in his speech to the joint session of Congress that what he was doing is going to make the lives of people better eventually, and that any disruptions, such as increased inflation, would be temporary, might ease their concerns in the short run. But month after month of chaotic activity, creating ever greater uncertainty and fear, will eventually become unbearable. President Trump may be as happy as Brer Rabbit in the briar patch amidst all this chaos and disruption, but most everybody else hates it. The American people are more anti-fragile than any other people in the world, but they have their limits. Winston Churchill is well known for saying Americans can always be trusted to do the right thing once all other possibilities have been exhausted. This rings true even though many people doubt that he actually said that. Right now, the anti-fragile President Trump is exhausting many possibilities. Let's hope he eventually finds the right thing, and pretty quick. Thanks for watching. Links to source material used in preparing this podcast can be found on my website, www.edificeoftrust.com.